This is Cornering the Job Market for August 22nd. I'm Pete with Four Corner Resources, and here are the work related headlines you need to know for today. First up is a Fortune article. It's titled The Shadow AI Economy is Booming. Now, this is based on an MIT study on the state of AI business in 2025. It found that companies have poured 30 to 40 billion into generative AI, yet only 5% are reporting meaningful returns. I mean, that is a really low percentage. It's what MIT is calling the Gen AI divide. Yet another new term. We'll probably hear it many, many times in the months and perhaps years to come. But it showed really something interesting that employees are using these AI tools every day. That's creating what they're calling a shadow economy of AI adoption that leadership just isn't capturing. So they're losing money on the tools they're paying for, but perhaps gaining undocumented or unseen value on the tools that their teams are using just without permission. Um, 90% of workers, they claim, are using personal AI chatbots like ChatGPT or Grok without any official approval from IT. Now, I find it interesting that IT would need to approve that. I mean, IT likes to have their hands on everything in most organizations, but I would say that management of anyone creating content or putting out any official narrative or data, or anything that relies on accuracy, that's who should be more concerned with what AI is being used for, because we know that these tools are not accurate all of the time. I mean, they're great and powerful, but you can't rely on them. I just have found ChatGPT 5, if you're using that yet, to be a big step back from what it was before. Really surprising, but that's been my experience over the past 2 weeks since it's come out. I'd love any feedback if someone else is using it. I've started using Grok more as a result. I just think OpenAI is taking a step in the wrong direction with this new version. But I also found surprising from this study that only 40% of companies have purchased official AI subscriptions. I thought that number would be a lot higher. You should do it. I mean, you definitely get a better version, except I guess until ChatGPT 5 anyway. So we'll move on from that. In other AI news, a Reuters poll shows that Americans feel AI permanently displacing workers. I think that's a healthy fear. It's one that Americans should have. AI is fueling widespread concern about the future of work, with 71% of Americans worrying that AI will cause a large number of workers to permanently lose their jobs. Now, I, I'm not glad that there's a need for this to exist, but the fact that Americans are not sticking their head in the sand and believing a lot of what's being reported, that jobs won't be lost, that any loss of jobs is transitory, couldn't be farther from the truth in my very, very confident opinion on this. So it's good that Americans are paying attention to it and worrying, because that gives everyone the ability to act and do something about it. What I found really kind of weird from that poll, and this is somewhat unrelated to work, but that 2/3 of the respondents believe AI companions could replace human relationships. With with what? Don't let your actual relationships be replaced by a robot. That is perhaps more terrifying than job loss for a society. That's weird. Don't do that. Okay, we'll get back to work, but that's a little scary. Here's a different direction for AI. The Wall Street Journal reported that Meta has frozen hiring in its AI division. So all we've heard about lately was the massive signing bonuses and comp plans that Meta's been offering the top AI engineers. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars, even rumor of 1.5 billion being offered, which is kind of hard to even comprehend. But with so much at stake in the war for AI, Meta has some money. You can't really blame them. But apparently, they've decided enough is enough for now. They've frozen hiring across this AI division. One of the takeaways from that I find a little bothersome is one of their four AI units that they have is called super intelligence. I mean, it just sounds like robots are taking over. Not to be chicken little again, as I am every time I talk about AI, but super intelligence, yeah, that's a little scary for all of us. So moving on though, Novo Nordisk. So that's the pharma company that makes Wegovy. Apparently, they doubled the size of their workforce when Wegovy launched. Now I'll just let that sit there for a second. They doubled in size. Now they're reducing their workforce because I guess Wegovy is not growing any bigger. So many puns here. Could I say that they're trimming the fat with their staff now? I probably shouldn't say that, but I did. So we'll move on from that one. So Wegovy reducing, going in the other direction. A Forbes article says that there are 5 AI jobs you can land with no coding experience required. One is an AI trainer. That's where you teach AI to respond correctly. We know that that's needed. A prompt engineer. I think everyone's familiar with that title now. A content reviewer. Well, yeah, you should definitely have a content reviewer if you are creating AI generated content. I mean, the tone, the accuracy, all of it, you definitely need a human's eyes on it still today. We'll see how long that's necessary. A product manager that's focused on AI, and then a chatbot tester. That'd be fun testing chatbots all day. That's probably an entry level job for anyone who's looking out there. Maybe put that in your keyword searches on LinkedIn. But speaking of LinkedIn, they've jumped the shark. I think LinkedIn jumped the shark a long time ago, but it continues to get worse. They now have Sudoku. Sudoku. Let me show you so you believe it. I'm not making this up. They actually let their users play Sudoku, because why wouldn't you do that on LinkedIn? I mean, what is going on with this site? It's supposed to be about business networking. It's supposed to be about helping people advance their careers. But look, solve now. You can play Sudoku for absolutely no reason that I can think of on LinkedIn. But here it is. And apparently there's 5 other games that they have. Who knew? Not me. Absurd. LinkedIn, cut the crap. Get back to why you should exist in the first place. And then finally for today, here's your job related fun fact that the shortest job interview in history reportedly occurred in 1905 when a man applied for a position as a night watchman. Upon being told the salary, which was really low, he replied, "Then I'll watch it every other night." He was hired on the spot. Do you believe that? I don't know if I do, but it's a good story. Hopefully it was true. All right, everyone. That's it for today. Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, share with anyone you think would be interested, and give me your feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts on anything I've talked about and suggestions for what I should talk about. Talk to you soon.